Oh, look who it is. Mrs. Better than better than better than better than better than better than better.
Just grab a Sequoia, cause it's really what you need. And you don't have to go deceive yourself so much.
You think a ninth grader will be impressed by your factory DVD player? You flip that 8-inch screen down and Derek will look up over his iPad and say, "What is this pre-owned trash? What are you going to do, play Shrek for me?" Look, Uncle Bill, it's 2020. Unless you're going to share that weed vape that I know you hide in the center console next to the Altoids tin full of Canadian quarters you use to bamboozle Lions Club bubblegum machines, you're a real DB Cooper, let me tell you. Unless you're going to share, you can flip that ATM screen back up because my math lab here is insulting my intelligence less than you are right now. 2008 Toyota Land Cruiser J200. It's the best SUV you can buy, and no one cares. Powered by the 5.7-liter 3UR FE V8, the J200 is the LS400 of SUVs. Well, maybe the LX570 is a better match because both have the same badge, but underneath are the same car. Yeah, but Tavarish's Matt Farah's million... The J200 will go 1,000,000 miles as well. You want an LS400, but you can't find one? Buy a J200. My dick is a Comcast bill. It keeps going up. This is a 12-year-old car in 2020 with 172,000 miles, and it's still worth like $18,000 to $20,000. This isn't a Karen mobile. Karens couldn't afford J200s in 2008, and they can't afford new ones now. Karens drive Infiniti QX80s or other hot QVC diarrhea. And Karens wouldn't want to drive used J200s because what narcissist would spend $20,000 on a car to look like they spent $5,000? Visually, there's no style to the J200. It's just another blob body from the aughts. And Toyota was the blobbiest of all the manufacturers in 2008. 4Runner, Camry, Sequoia, Corolla, Yaris. All their cars looked as exciting as Costco on an overcast day in March. Now the owner, Ben, is a single guy. Pure flex. A single guy driving a 6,000-pound, 7-passenger, top-of-the-line SUV. All it carries is him and beer. And he knows that dailing a J200 is like showing up for a knife fight with a knife taped to 2 CBU-97 cluster bombs filled with more knives. The 3UR FE is the double-cam V8 with variable valves that the General Motors Northstar wishes it could have been. And I don't think the 3UR FE 5.7 or 350 cubic inch V8 is comparable to an LS either. Because an LS, the LS is God, yeah, in that it's built to be serviced easy. LSs do have EGR problems and the intake gaskets go and the exhaust gaskets go, but with the exception of the transverse LS4 and any LS tightly cradled in a Corvette, engine removal is straightforward. Toyota took a different approach. Make a 350 V8 that never needs to come out ever again. Oh, it's in there. It's a wide V8 with those cylinder heads wide like a Coyote motor. But follow the maintenance schedule and King Toyota will see you through. Now the driving impressions. It feels small on the inside. These hood creases, they move to the center, and the wide center console rest gives you the sensation that the Land Cruiser is reasonably sized. Like, oh, I'm not one of those SUV people just taking up space. See, it's small. But go try to reach something in the passenger seat. Matt, try to reach something in the middle seats from the driver's seat. No. And then you get out of the car and you stand next to it and you go, oh, this is a big guy. Then make a sudden move at speed. Whoo, there's a lot of car behind you. This isn't a Subaru Ascent. It's not sharp. But it's not a GMC Yukon sperm whale either. Just like the smaller, in quotation, smaller 4Runner, it's a Muzak driving experience you ignore, like yacht rock in a diner, or coleslaw with a club sandwich, or Big Bang Theory in an ophthalmologist's waiting room. I am not aware of all the engineering, production, logistics, and technology converging in the background while I have a surface conversation with Ben about mutual funds. Nope. But at any moment, I can veer off the asphalt into a ruddy field full of sticker bushes, fallen logs, and dumbass groundhogs, and the J200 will thunder on like the beast it is. 2008 Toyota Land Cruiser J200. Made in Japan for Americans. You can tell by the fake wood paneling and the proportions that scream Carson Wentz in full gear. Look, Carson, we're recording this in mid-September. You better not still be playing Hero Ball whenever the hell this airs. Also, go Birds. This is too nice for helping Cousin Larry move into his new efficiency. Frankly, he hasn't been the same ever since he caught whacking it in Longwood Gardens. And now you have a Land Cruiser, and he told everybody, and now the family is expecting favors. This isn't for favors, Mom. Go back to having coffee at the Greenery in Boscov's, in the same parking lot as the Ram 1500 with an Eat a Dick bumper sticker and a set of truck nuts even though it isn't 2013 anymore. And the guy with a misspelled tattoo that reads, "Only Gob can judge me." Numbers for the 3URFE, which replaced the 2UZFE, is 381 horsepower and 401 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy is around 14 miles per gallon combined, by Ben's estimation. Toyota says 13 city, 18 highway, so yeah. No matter really what you do, this is a 6,000-pound SUV. It's gonna get 15. Most people don't need this much car, or truck, or SUV. They need a Sequoia. The Sequoia is the big SUV people really should get. All it is a Toyota Tundra turned into an SUV. The Land Cruiser is different. This is built for 400,000 miles or more, in harsher terrain than your family trip to Dorney Park demands, or wherever families go, with their teeming broods of Capri Sun drinking, dry cereal spilling crotch fruit. 2008 Toyota Don't Call Me a Land Rover Land Cruiser. Sponsored by suburban outdoorsmen who mainline weapons-grade fiber and episodes of This American Life. The neighbors are whispering about how Land Cruiser guy overpaid, and his marriage is in shambles because of the financial strain. But of all the people with room to talk, they're basically inside a cramped telephone booth. The Land Cruiser is Toyota's longest-running series of models, and it's also the second longest-running SUV in production after the Chevy Suburban. So regardless of where it was made or who for, it achieved a level of success that suggests you'd see a lot more of these on the road than you do. I think a lot of what holds it back from being more commonplace is the pure expense relative to what you're getting. These were over $80,000 new. Granted, some of the features were cool for the time, like a little cooler box in the center console, which used a separate HVAC system that blows cold air only to the center console. But it only works while the car is running, so it's really not a refrigerator. But it's neat. Another neat feature is the micro pollen filter, which runs the recirculated air through an extra contaminant filter for when you're driving through high pollen areas. But for the added expense, I'm not sure how much of an incentive these features would have been for the average consumer. I mean, I guess it's cool to have a system that keeps track of the pressure of the hanging spare tire underneath the car. I guess keyless entry or rear side curtain airbags, and okay, the driver assist technologies were newly standard for the J200 models, so these could have been big selling points. Just stuff like downhill assist control, multi-terrain ABS, kinetic dynamic suspension system for greater wheel articulation, and this thing called the crawl system, which is basically like an off-road cruise control. But in the grand scheme of paying almost $100,000, I don't know. Most people who own these really only need a Sequoia. But on the used market, 12 years removed, it makes a little bit more sense. It's a car for a person more certain of their needs. Certain enough, at least, to know when those needs aren't being met by a standard SUV. This is a luxury monster. The type of car you see once a year on Halloween, dropping off kids from the full bars district to see what the proletariat has to offer. The Land Cruiser is like a thesis on post-war attitudes towards consumption, with a sprinkle of rose-colored glass shards, because these were vehicles adapted from the needs of wartime, as boxy and efficient as a homemade real doll. 2008 Toyota Land Cruiser. Practice your performative contradiction in this rolling middle finger to operational modesty. Oh, I'm sorry. You thought I would stay on some kind of road? But I'm taking to land like cigarette butts to water. I'm clattering up the terrain like rock candy tumbling in a Halloween bag. Except where I live, you don't trick or treat. You just stand on your porch in your Jason Voorhees outfit while you wait for a Toyota Land Cruiser to part the bushes like butt cheeks and come out blasting Reese's peanut butter pumpkins in the fashion of whatever hides between butt cheeks.
The 3URFE. No TUZFE. No matter, the ladder is gone from Japan for the States. A land cruiser.